One of the things that saddened me the most is that I cannot use mathematics and also physics in real life, unfortunately. I have already spoken about my work days, the way I work, what I do, my job, and that has not much to do with physics or mathematics. Yes, I am involved with engineering and especially wrapping machines. Basically, we have to draw 2D drawings of these machines, and we have to offer these machines and choose the components to offer to customers. Maybe other people can relate to that because they have maybe studied other fields, but their job is completely unrelated to what they have been studying throughout their life. This is quite unsatisfactory for somebody who's eager to learn and apply his or her knowledge to his or her life. If you have become passionate about something, it is very tough mentally if you only find jobs which are completely unrelated to what you have been studying. So that's a great downside about our world. In particular, I'm speaking about my country, Italy. In other countries it might be better. I'm not completely sure, but I have heard people say, and people who live abroad say, that they have experienced a similar situation. So that's what I have heard from other people. Is this academia's fault or the industrial world's fault? Well, I don't think that there's just one culprit. Not only one person will be guilty here, of course. Also, politics has a huge role in this because politicians have, in Italy at least, contributed to the downgrading of our schools and our education system. They have completely changed our university funding. They have been receiving less funding over the last decades. That's one point, not the only one. Also, the educational system has changed completely because once upon a time people would take 5 years to get their degree and it was just one degree, whereas nowadays there are, except for some universities like medical school and law school, there is the Bachelor of Science and then there is the Master of Science. The former takes 3 years to complete, whereas the latter takes 2 years to complete. Politicians do something like this because, according to their view, people can go to work 2 years earlier because if they finish their bachelor degree, they get their first degree and then they can go to work if they want to, if they don't want to proceed with the Master of Science. The problem is that in this case you're supposed to do what you used to do in 5 years in 3 years because the Bachelor of Science must be complete, must contain all the knowledge that once upon a time was contained in 5 years of university. So also the way that the knowledge is delivered in this case is completely different. You have to be much faster. You have to learn much more quickly. And it's not that easy if you want to let the knowledge sink in or understand the concepts to the best degree possible. It's not an easy job. And then after you study a lot and you should in principle be ready to go to work and apply your knowledge, what's happening? Well, you go to work and you realize that there's nothing related to what you have studied so far. Well, at least in many cases. I'm not saying in all cases it's like that, because of course when I was studying for my PhD and then I also did my postdoc, what I was doing was related to what I studied for, right? That's obvious. And even if you become a researcher, what you're doing is definitely related to what you have been studying. But I'm speaking about the industrial world. People that start from academia or they study, they complete the university studies, and then they start working for industrial companies. That's where this discrepancy occurs, and it's so stark that I can't help but highlight it in this video. This is something known, other people know this. But for those students who think that by studying for the university they will be able to get a job and apply their knowledge, well, unfortunately it's not like that. Nowadays also there are other problems related to our society, the politicians. There was a pandemic and so many problems regarding our economic system, but I don't want to take that into account now. That's something that goes beyond what I'm saying in this video. Of course, all of that has a major role in changing our job system. But what I'm talking about here originated much earlier than the pandemic and the other economic problems that are arising now. For example, due to the war between Russia and Ukraine, and the way all that is affecting our society. So all that contributed to my sharing videos online, because I realized that I cannot use the knowledge that I acquired during my studies, especially regarding mathematics and physics, I realized that I couldn't apply that knowledge in my everyday job. So I needed to quench my thirst for mathematics and physics in another way, by sharing videos. That inner desire had to be fulfilled, and that void had to be filled. The void caused by not being able to share my passion in my everyday life. I hope you have the possibility of sharing what you like the most every day, because that's what really makes you feel satisfied. If it's not so, well, you're in good company. Bye.